He was not the strongest of the gods. That title belonged to Thor, wielder of the mighty hammer Mjolnir. He was not the wisest either. That was Odin, the All-Father, who saw futures woven from the threads of fate. No, Tyr was something different. He was the bravest. When the prophecies first spoke of the great wolf Fenrir and how he would one day bring about the twilight of the gods at Ragnarok, fear crept into the halls of Asgard. It was a cold, quiet dread that even the most powerful deities could not escape. Odin, ever the strategist, began to scheme, his mind a labyrinth of plots and counterplots. Thor, the warrior, prepared for a battle he knew was inevitable, his knuckles white around his hammer's handle. They chose caution and conflict. But Tyr, he chose responsibility. Before the fear, there was a different relationship. Fenrir was just a pup, and while the other gods watched him with suspicion, seeing only the monster he was destined to become, Tyr saw something else. He was the one who fed the growing wolf, who trained him, who spoke to him not as a beast, but as a being worthy of respect. Fenrir, in turn, trusted Tyr completely. It was a bond forged in mutual regard, an island of calm in a sea of growing anxiety. So when the gods finally decided that the prophecies were too dire to ignore, that Fenrir must be bound to protect their world, their eyes turned to one god. They knew that binding a monster of such immense power would require trickery and strength. But they also knew that betraying a friend, looking into the eyes of one who trusts you and knowingly leading them into a trap, requires a different kind of fortitude. It requires a courage born from sacrifice. Tyr understood the unspoken truth hanging in the air. If the gods were to lie, if they were to break a sacred bond of trust to save themselves, someone would have to pay the price for that deception. A sacrifice was necessary to balance the scales of honor. And in the silence of his own heart, Tyr had already decided he was willing to be that sacrifice. In the next chapter, Tyr faces the moment that will define his legend for all time. He must choose between his honor and the survival of the gods, and make a sacrifice that will echo through eternity. The story of the bravest god is not over. Like and subscribe to witness the next part of the saga.